The Canterbury experience is awesome in that it allows students to study in another culture, an educational system that's quite different from ours. It gives them a place of residence for essentially 3 months from which they can take trips to either within England or to other countries and learn a great deal about themselves and travel along the way. That's one of the chief values of this trip. They learn a lot about themselves, how to handle themselves, how to make independent arrangements, how to function in a foreign culture. A lot of students will say that they had perhaps never taken certain forms of transportation before. They've had those experiences now. They've bought groceries in another country. They've eaten different foods. They've traveled. They've gone through immigration in different countries. It gives them a much broader perspective.
I've known since I was a kid that traveling was something that I wanted to do with my life, and this just seemed like my first and perfect opportunity to leave the country for the first time, actually. My favorite trip was a weekend trip that I took with some friends. We went to Germany and we went hiking in the mountains, and well, we took a chairlift to the top of the mountains and then we hiked back down, and it was like being in a Disney movie. The pictures that we took there, like what we saw, was incredible. One of my favorite memories was we were in Amsterdam and we were trying to get to Bruges, and we didn't speak the language, but we had to make every train and every exchange, and it was really nerve-wracking, but we did it. And at the end of the day, we were super proud of ourselves for being able to do that. This opportunity changed my perspective of the world, and that before I left, I knew the world was huge. I knew that there was a bunch of culture and diversity all over the planet, but actually going and seeing these places, it actually made the world feel smaller. Because of all the people I met and everything that I saw, I just feel like I understand global community better. It really is a life-changing experience. You are a different person when you come home. My favorite place to visit while I was over studying abroad was Barcelona. I loved it. It was the most beautiful city I've ever been to. Beautiful people, I love the culture. I think my favorite thing over there was practicing my Spanish and talking to people who are actually living in Spain and Catalonia and learning about their culture and their way of life. I took a CIA foreign policy course, and it was the history of the relationship between the US and England and the CIA, and that was very interesting for me as a criminal justice major to learn about the history of our intelligence agency from the perspective of one of our allies. Everything you're going to see, everything you're going to do, the people that you're going to meet, the bonds you're going to make, they're going to change your life, and it's going to be worth it.
It is so difficult to narrow down the experience in a few words. Getting there, I felt really excited. I just felt like there was so much ahead. I felt like there was so much opportunity that was laying in front of me. You definitely grow within those 3 to 4 months of living away from your parents, away from your family. I feel like I reached a certain point of self-actualization that I wouldn't have reached otherwise. I took a class called the Modern Black Freedom Movement, and I didn't expect to learn about an American topic through such a acute lens. I expected to go and know all the answers, know who Dr. King was, know who Malcolm X was, things like that, and thought it was going to be pretty cut and dry, and it wasn't. So I was pleasantly surprised in the way that I learned something. My favorite place was going to Geneva, Switzerland. It was the cleanest place I had ever been in my entire life. If you focus on succeeding and loving your neighbor, anything is possible. Going there with that mindset was beneficial because it did expand once I got there. I got to meet people that just extending a little bit of love to, you can foster a friendship or a relationship that helps you in every aspect of your life.
You see all these different things that you can only see like on TV, like from here. And England is so rich in history and culture that America is just like, a baby country compared to England and the rest of the world. So it was just so amazing and so life-changing. We took Sights and Sights, which is the best course ever because they take you on trips every single Friday and you go and explore, Europe and England and just in more depth. One thing that I learned from those trips was just taking it easy, that things don't always have to be planned out. Going to a new place in a new country, it's a little scary, and especially when you don't know the language and it's not always English. So just taking it easy and just go with the flow. That's one thing I learned for sure. I stayed in Parham. We had our own room, and my bedroom had like a queen-size bed. We had our own bathroom, but then we had communal spaces. So we had like a backyard and a kitchen, a living area. So it was super fun. And we got to connect with the students that live there and like other students from other countries that live there as well. The way I view the world now is completely different. It was just such an amazing opportunity, and I don't regret it for anything. I don't regret a single thing. It was just so much fun, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
One way this opportunity changes the perspective, from my perspective, of the world is the people I met when I was in Canterbury. I met people all over America, from Missouri, Chicago, Kansas. One of my roommates for 2 months was from Algeria, and I got to meet all his friends. And we watched different sports in general together. For example, the English qualifying game against Scotland. That was probably the coolest game I've ever seen played, like, when I was there. And just the people and their experiences and how they affected me really changed my perspective. One important lesson, be independent. That's the biggest lesson I learned when I was over there. You're gonna have things you wanna do that other people might not wanna do. I took hundreds upon thousands of photos. A lot of them were the cathedral, a lot of them were different people. Most of them were people who went on the trip with me. I liked capturing different moments. Food, oh my God, Nando's was delicious. English breakfast was very delicious. I like trying new things. I got introduced to the captain of the football team, and that day he was like, at 5 o'clock, let's go meet some of the guys. He really incorporated me into the team really fast, and it was just like, wow, okay, this is kind of cool. I met people from like so many different countries: Italy, France, Germany, Canada. I was the only American on the team. There were a lot of really good British players.
If I could describe the experience in a few words, I would say it was eye-opening, it was amazing and wonderful.
Transformative.
Unforgettable.
Enlightening.
It really was life-changing.
Remarkable and life-changing even at my age.